Do you want to involve your kids in rocket launches? Do you want to look forward to going to the launch? Do you want to see your kids pester their parents to take them on launch? Then your launch needs to feature a rocket that a crowd can look forward to seeing, and you can't go wrong with a Pinata rocket. Come to Pinata rocket lecture and see how the rocket evolved to make Pinata rocket, and just what is a Pinata rocket.
All right, thank you, Allison. That was very good. Yay! All right. For anybody that doesn't know me already, I'm Tony. It says Tony everywhere. I'm the Vice President of Lunar, and I started flying a Pinata rocket. So let's get into the actual presentation here. So you're here for Pinata rocket, or how to encourage your kids to attend a rocket launch. Would you go to a rocket launch with a Pinata at it? You don't know yet, huh? You still on the fence? All right, so believe it or not, this is the beginning of the Pinata rocket. What is that? What's that? A horse? No? How about you, Allison? You don't know? Tom?
A beating heart. A beating heart.
That's exactly right. It's a beating heart. This is a fetal monitor. I found out I was having a little girl. But actually, that's the beginning of a Pinata rocket. So, as you can probably tell, I was having a little girl. And everybody at the rocket launch is well aware I was having a little girl on the way. So I began to make plans for her birth. Well, I didn't have to do too much. But I had to decide, upgrade the nursery. I had to decide how to announce the arrival of my little girl. I don't smoke. Cigars were nowhere to, not my personality, give out. So I thought about chocolate cigars, natural evolution. But then I got to, it's a girl suckers. But I couldn't just hand out, it's a girl suckers. I mean, I'm a rocket nut, right? That wouldn't work. But just, here's a sucker, no good? Oh, wait a minute, we're doing things wrong here. Let's get the party started. Gotta put on the hat. Pinata rockets have to have a hat, don't they?
No.
No? Yes, they do. Play along. So, couldn't just hand out suckers, so I put little pink streamers on these suckers and put them in a rocket. And this is the very first Pinata rocket. It was an NCR 4000. Anybody ever fly one of those? It's basically a 4 times upscale alpha rocket. It's got a pretty good sized payload bay, 4-inch rocket, and I was able to stick about 40 suckers inside that rocket. So I flew the rocket, all the candy came out, and all the kids went crazy for the candy falling out of the sky. You can't imagine it, can you, Allison? Yeah, you can imagine it, can't you, Ashley? Yeah, maybe. They like seeing candy coming out of the sky?
I don't think so.
You don't think so, huh? No, they did. They went crazy. Every kid out there said, do it again, do it again. They wanted to have more candy falling out of the sky. This is 1999, the first Pinata rocket, October of 1999. So, about that time, Aerotech came out with a new rocket. Because that little Phantom 4000 didn't hold very much candy. So Aerotech came out with the G-Force. About a 6-foot tall rocket, a payload bay, wonderful rocket for flying candy. So I put it on my Christmas list. My wife gave me the rocket, and let's see. I built the rocket essentially stock as Aerotech designed it with the cyanoacrylic CA glue, so it's supposed to be all CA glue. So the entire rocket was just glued together like Aerotech designed it. But the bulkheads, I was a little concerned about how the bulkheads were lifting this candy. So I epoxied the bulkheads. Other than that, is as designed. And Kaplow clips. Anybody know what Kaplow clips are? Yep, Robert. So the way you just retain the motor in the back. So I use that instead of the Aerotech motor clip. All right? So the plan was that you just fly it, motor ejection goes up, and as the rocket turns over the parachute out, gravity pulls the nose cone off and all the candy falls out. And that's the way the Pinata flew the first time. And the first launch was in March of 2000. Exactly, worked perfect. Then the bugs started. And you see there's a launch and candy coming out. But then it started discovering bugs. Rely upon gravity to eject the candy, not the best way of planning things. The next launch, April, I flew Easter eggs. Easter eggs with parachutes. You think that'd be cool? Easter eggs with parachutes?
I think the eggs would crack.
Eggs would, well, what if we use plastic eggs? And what if you filled them full of Skittles? Would that be cool?
Would come out.
And we're going to tape them together with parachutes on them. So, up it went. But the problem is, all those Easter eggs at motor burnout hit the nose cone. And what happens motor burnout? A lot of drag happens. The nose cone came off. And shortly after that, of course, all those Easter eggs came out the front of the rocket. And you can see it's still going very fast up. Well, let me tell you, Scotch magic tape against 150 mile an hour wind just didn't work out. So all those little parachutes came off all those little eggs. Well, the kids, there's no stopping kids when there's candy involved. So they started running after all those parachutes drifting off. Well, the problem is all those eggs that we could not see are coming down out of the sky. But as luck would have it, the kids ran by, and then the little egg grenades started going off behind the kids. So we had our own Skittles rainbow of Skittles just flying in the air. And as funny as it was, I'm glad no kid got hit, but they all chased after empty parachutes that never came down. So yeah, that was a bug. We had to do something different. So next stage in the Pinata rocket. We tightened up the nose cone, and for 3 launches in a row, everything worked perfectly. Then eventually, the nose cone didn't come off. So we still had to work on getting more and doing better with getting the candy out. So it's time to upgrade, spend more money, and get into electronics. So a new plan, got a black sky Aerotech. And let's see, this was Christmas 2000. I was up late reading instructions before the Christmas launch in 2000. But we got the black sky into the G-force. So now the black sky can control the main parachute. So, as we flew the rocket, up it went, black sky deployed the parachute, and out came all the candy. Everything was perfect. And let's... And we see that black sky worked perfect, and out comes the candy.
Wasn't Easter eggs again, was it?
Was not Easter eggs.
For Christmas.
I typically fly like candy canes at Christmas, or I try to theme them up. So whatever holiday there is, that's what we flew. Okay? So at first I was kind of timid. I still flew motor backups. And then as the electronics came along and I got more confident, I stopped flying motor backups. So you can see that everything came out properly. The next launch, I got a new bug. Up went the rocket, but the shock cord broke.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, fortunately, the shock cord, the booster section with the parachute on it, stayed together, and the electronics were in the payload section with the candy. So at 500 feet, the candy still came out, everything came back safely. Tied the shock cord back together, I went flying pretty cheap in the beginning. Flew it again, and exactly the same thing happened again. It was time to stop flying underwear elastic. So next flight, for some reason, the Aerotech failed to deploy the candy. Igniter didn't fire. So up the rocket went, only one parachute came out, but that one parachute brought the rocket back safe and kids still got candy. It was a mystery then why that one pyro charge didn't go off, but it flew the exact same pyro charge again, and it worked the next time. No idea. And let's see if I advance too far. Go ahead and page up. So then the next problem came about was the Aerotech fire in 2001. That caused a shortage of 29mm H motors. I don't know if you guys remember where you were flying rockets back then. So we had no 29mm reloads. So I had to go up to 38mm. So I bought a new Pinata rocket, a new G-force, and I started flying the 38mm rockets. So I was also flying Cicerone Pro 38s at the time. Rocket would go up about 1,300 feet and then come back down, and the Aerotech, or the Black Sky the altimeter would deploy the candy again. So now I've got two Pinata rockets, one 29mm. Yeah, that was supposed to go forward. Let's see if it goes forward this time. There we go. So now we've got two Pinata rockets, one with 29mm motor mount, one with 38. Aerotech recovered. We have more motors, so what do you do with two Pinata rockets?
Fly them both?
There you go. You think like I do. We fly them both. Exactly. So we put up two Pinata rockets, double the payload, double the candy. Is that good fun? You don't know. Of course it's good fun.
You think it'd be bad fun?
No, it's good fun. So you had to trim the fins on the Aerotech G-force because it only comes with the 29mm motor mount, but they're little tabs on Aerotech fins. So you just cut them off, put in a locked 38mm tube, it fit perfectly, and I started flying G-Whiz LC-400s. And let's see, do you like to see that? Let's see what we can do here. 3, 2, 1. Wait for it. Are you ready?
No. You're gonna throw it again.
What? I wouldn't do that, would I?
Whatever you want.
And are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Here goes the candy! Here's the candy! Here's the candy! It's sugar candy! Is that what comes out? So out comes the candy. Here you go, Tom. I saw you reaching. And back to Robert. How can you go wrong? Candy, obviously the kids love it. Everybody's got candy. The kids are hyped up almost as good as puppies and caffeine. Oh, did I get some back? So, dueling pinatas were definitely a hit. That's one of the first videos I have of the Pinata rocket going up. And I believe that was in 2001, 12 years ago. So everything kept on going. For over 5 years, every month, weather and schedule permitting, Lunar had a launch and it rained candy every single month. Eventually, we lost the field and we could no longer fly at Robertson Park in California. After a while, we got another field. It's a wintertime field. It's Snow Ranch. So Snow Ranch is a cattle ranch near Stockton. And we go out there and we fly dueling pinatas. On your count. Are you ready for it?
You're gonna throw the candy.
No. Wait for it. Drove in two parachutes or two rockets. More candy! Who doesn't love getting candy? This one, I believe, is Easter eggs.
What is Easter eggs?
Oh, watch. You want to see all these little black parachutes in the sky. I think we put about 40 Easter eggs into each rocket, so if it's raining, you can see Easter eggs on parachutes. They floated away.
Eggs still drifting out of the air.
So we have Easter eggs over a minute, over 1 minute of just Easter eggs coming out of the sky. No fun, huh?
Create a new duration of that.
Yeah, good player. Easter egg duration.
Come on, let's go.
So how much did all those parachutes make?
Share, everybody, share!
That was pretty awesome. So the way we got all those parachutes made is take garbage bags, and I took an X-Acto blade and I just sliced thread 1 foot square out of all the parachutes that were around the garbage bags, attached them with thread to the Easter eggs with some stills. It was easy to make, but
Parachutes are plenty big, honey.
see, parachutes are pretty good. So we were worried about them not being big enough to slow down. And there's my favorite shot right there. Young man sharing with a little kid.
Got one coming down right on top of me here, apparently.
There's a contest director there, yes. So, is that any fun? You know, can't decide yet? All right. Maybe we need to do something a little bigger. What do you think?
Oh, this will start to get scary now.
I mean, I've got 2 rockets going, and it's just not enough yet. Look at all them kids out there, right?
You need more.
More! You got it right, Tim the Toolman Taylor. More power. So, enter the next level of Pinata rocket. Looking for a big rocket, trying to get more payload, more lift out
How
of
are
it.
you going to do that?
Yeah, how was I going to do that? Well, I started looking at catalogs. You know, I kind of like rocket catalogs. You don't see that one yet. Oh, you cheater! So, first I looked at the Hyperlock 1600. I thought that'd be the ideal rocket. But I also wanted to start playing with the LC400 had staging capability. The Hyperlock did not have multiple motors in it. So I went, after looking at my altimeter there, I went with the Lock Magnum rocket, because the Magnum comes pre-designed for clustering. So here you'll see, I got my Lock Magnum, let's see, was this Christmas again? I think so. My wife treats me right at Christmas, especially when I click the button. So I bought the Lock Magnum, and I also bought an extra length of body tube. So a Lock Magnum typically is only one section here, and with the nose cone here. Bought an extra length of body tube, and put it together. With a central 54mm motor, and 2 outboard 29mm. So that's all the parts building. That one I actually built with 6 external motors. It never flew that way though. Okay? So now we have the first Pinata with air starts.
Yes, sir.
Alright, and those people behind the rocket are walking away from it. We're gonna go ahead. Can you guys wave that are out there, standing there? Yeah, get over it a little bit. That'll make
See
us
if we can shorten this up.
keep an eye on the rock. Tony has the I-600 and the D-33 and the D-64. Alright, and those people behind the rocket are walking away from it.
So central I-600 and 2 I-60 or G64.
You guys wave that are out there, standing there? Yeah, get over it a little bit. That'll make us keep an eye on the rocket.
Obviously, I forgot to edit this one.
Tell me when that far enough away for you, Tony. Okay.
Are you waiting in anticipation?
Here we
Think it'll
go.
work.
36. It's the Pinata rocket. The return of the Pinata rocket. All right.
Pinata's flying. You gotta have more candy, right?
Here we go. In 5,
Probably.
4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
One day.
You ready?
How many times did you
like.
So we just got air starts.
And the second.
First time. Air start rockets.
So candy.
Oh yeah, you almost forgot. You want to throw it this time?
Oh, come
Okay,
on.
throw it to yourself. It was a harrowing recovery if you missed that. Parachutes were pretty tangled up, but you can see all the kids running with their plastic bags going. And you got to see, it is a hoot every time that happens. So, did you notice what the pinata looked like at that time?
No.
Well, I flew it just primered. And the best skin I ever did with it was, here, I made it blue and purple. And I put a label on it, Pinata, but it still wasn't right.
I think
it didn't say Pinata.
It doesn't look like a pinata.
Yeah, you're right. It didn't look like a pinata.
Pinatas are filled with colors.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I had my wife take my rocket and go out in the garage where I wouldn't cry and start decorating it. And she came up with this. So there you see the change in the pinata.
Is that made out of tape? Because it looks made out of tape.
Well, you know what tissue paper is?
Yeah.
Yeah? So if you take a little bit of glue and you wet it down, make it very liquid, so you paint it on with a paintbrush, and then you just paint the rocket and you stick tissue paper on it, and it kind of made it look like a pinata. You think so?
She should have put something else on it, like hay.
Hay?
Hay that's colored.
Colored hay on my rocket? Does your mom know how goofy you are? Yeah? No? Yeah, sister said so, Alright, so we built the pinata rocket, we gave it a skin. And the next flight was in December 2010, when it first got its new skin. Let's see, the Droga, oh, I actually forgot to attach the main parachute in December, but the Droga brought it back safely. Next problem I have is the avionics bay trying to get sliding the booster. If any of you build rockets with the avionics bay, the cardboard tubes, when you tighten them down, they sometimes balloon out and they get tight. And it made it nearly impossible putting this rocket together as many flights as it goes. So I ended up upgrading it to a performance rocketry 5.5-inch fiberglass avionics bay. It slides much easier now in and out of the rocket. All right, so things go well for a few more years, and then
It gets bad.
Then it gets bad. You've been to rockets before, haven't you?
Antonio, set up the line number 3, so we see you parachute. And we're ready to launch this pinata rocket with 6 pounds of candy on it. It's going to fly on a 9600. We're going to pump it up on a 10,
I'll sit through it.
Well, this one we're not going to throw candy on.
Oh, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. So up it goes.
And
No air starts. That's the first sign of trouble. No air starts. Because they didn't add no injection and oh! They had no respect for it. Yeah, they went to toward the farm and got the candy out. I didn't mind. I was crying.
And then you had to build
So,
a
yes.
new one.
Yeah, I had to build a new one.
How did they tear it apart?
So, there you see the rocket hitting and then bouncing. Let me tell you, I discovered that day, Valentine's Day, that when you fly sweet tarts and you crash them at 200 miles an hour, you turn the sweet tarts into pixie stick dust.
Really?
Yeah, there was no candy to be eaten. It was just all crushed. Dust everywhere. You can see that the whole payload section is gone. Actually, the booster lived through it, though.
How did the booster live?
Well, you see right there. The booster's fine, but the payload is destroyed.
Used all the energy squishing the candy. So
There you go. That candy acted like an airbag to my rocket.
Why couldn't the have the pixie stick dust.
Well, it was all over the ground.
Ew.
Ew, is right. So it's,
My Valentine.
yeah, that was the Valentine launch.
That didn't see.
So now we got another new pinata, got the paint job, and you want to see a really good launch?
Mhm.
You already saw it once. But here, let's do it again. This is my favorite one from March 3rd last year. A friend of ours in Lunar recorded this, Dale Stern.
606. We think it's over 600 feet. We don't want to drop the candy too far. And the Pinata rocket is going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are you ready for it? Are you ready?
Wait.
Wait.
How come it's not coming out?
Gonna bring candy on
That's
this
a little patient.
lunch desk. That's okay. I'm hungry.
Are you ready? Got your candy ready?
Almost done.
It's right over your head. All right. There it goes.
There's the candy. Go.
Bob's ready for it. There go the kids for the candy. You can hear all that candy. 6 pounds of candy raining on the sky for all the kids. That's a lot of candy. Got a lot of kids fed. You know, every launch I go to, I have no lack of volunteers helping me clean up my mess. But they never bring it back. I don't get it. Would you bring the candy back to me? No, you can eat it.
No, I eat it.
And that's today's Pinata Rocket. All right. Any questions anybody have? No? Thank you, thank you. Don't deafen me with the crowd here.
Oh, you got
So-
your hat on and hold your rocket so I can take a picture.
All right.
And if we have 2 girls along with you, but it's models.
That'll work for me. And I also have, if anybody ever wants to build their own pinata, I have a parts list here. All the pinata parts.
This is
I'm gonna take this to my dad.
You can take that to your dad. That'd be cool.
Can you bring
Take
me one
it
as
out.
well?
And I'm gonna get one too.
Can you bring me one?
Ashley?
With papers?
Do you want one?
I do.
He's embarrassed not to take one now.
I'm not skilled enough to build one.
Said sure, you start off with just a rocket, right?
It looks easy to build.
It should. You should build one. Maybe you get your class to fly one. Don't step on the candy. I apparently don't have enough kids here today to clean up.
Here. I'll throw it.
All right, you two, we need you up next to him in his rocket.
You want to hold the rocket? You got one in?
Hold on.
You got to turn around. We don't want to see your faces. So are you my guest lecture helpers?
Let's see here. See if I can get everybody in here.
Gotta get back, huh?
Yeah, I gotta get
Gotta zoom.
more.
You're in the middle.
I'm in the middle? All right. You're good at this. Are you a photographer too?
No.
No. All right.
Oh, sparklies. Oh, this is much better.
Much better.
Yeah, let's go this way, picture too. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pinata!
Candy.
Alrighty.
Candy.
All right. Oh, you're letting go of it now, by the way, aren't you? All right. Good job. All right. Thank you all. No other questions. I'm going to take my hat off till next
Here,
week.
you get some candy.
Do I get some candy? Thank you.
Somebody finally brought some
how much
back.
candy does it hold?
It holds about 6 pounds of candy or about 100 Easter eggs is what I can fit in it.
Wow.
So depending on what packaging there is, and I just got some fruity shoots that are smaller. So I got 7 pounds in it last month.
Ah,
People might not
Cool.
want to see candy on the ground.
very nice.
They won't want to see candy in the ground in here?
Hey, looking it up.
Yeah, you're good. You can come to a rocket launch if you want.
Do you use the air stars for fun?
Just fun. Just to add a little bit more complexity to it. And you're local here, Mike, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah,
One
so
more candy.
April, I'm planning a J850, or 580, excuse me. That's going to be the central motor, and it's going to air start 2 H metal storms. So we're going to have air starting metal storm rockets, or motors.
Oh, jeez.
That's gonna be- I think that's going to be a sight to see.
Does anybody want candy?
Yeah!
You?
I've got some candy over there, thank you. I'm going to share some.
Your family?
My family, my little girl.
She's probably gonna take them.
Yeah, if I let her, she often steals my candy.
What if you don't let her?
Well, she still kind of sneaks around, just like I bet you do. So is this worth coming to?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go back now.
Ready?
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I suppose you go see the 100,000 foot shot next door. It might catch you into that. Maybe send someone over here and I'll do it again.
Well, that explains how we aren't here so many.